What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're here for Rust Console Edition news and updates, this is the perfect video for you. Shortly, just before we go into it, be sure to follow up my socials, Twitter and TikTok. TikTok, basically, I do short form content for news and updates, so go over to there and follow it if you haven't already. So for the topics of today's video, we're going to be going through the recent ban wave, and when I say ban wave, it was a ban wave, as well as Hazmat and the Knife DLC, which I didn't cover in my last video, what's next for Rust Console Edition in October regarding updates, and also new Recoil that we've had from first hand in terms of commenting from Pedro. So the ban wave. Recently a new ban wave went through the community, right? From what I've seen and what's been confirmed, a lot of players have been running scripts, macros and other third-party device tools which have been getting wiped out. This is tied into RustGuard, which is 11's push to keep the community servers and official servers fair. And for those wondering, no, this is not just for small groups. Whole clans have been getting caught up in this recent ban wave, and people who thought they were safe running Zim or Zem setups have been getting flagged. The developers are still refining how RustGuard picks up on cheats, so expect more of these waves in the future. It's not perfect by any means, but it is in progress, and the takeaway is pretty simple. If you're running any dodgy third-party devices, whether it's scripts or playing on another device such as MK, it's just a matter of time before you will catch up in the ban wave. And over on my TikTok, I did mention that a lot of people that I knew got banned because they were doing glitches, right? Well, we got confirmation from Rustzilla saying this: that exploit/glitch shouldn't be in the ban message. So when you are banned on this game, you get the message saying exploit/glitch. However, Rustzilla follows on with this message saying, "We'll get it fixed for the next time to avoid this confusion. The bans were just for TPD use," which is third-party devices. Hella surprising, I'm not gonna lie, because there are people I know that got banned, and I was talking to them and they were saying they were doing glitches like the campervan glitch or the glitch getting you into launch site, and I was like, okay, fair enough. So taking into account the content creators, because it's more than McLove and Caleb now, more content creators have been banned. What are they trying to tell us? Are they saying that this anti-cheat is working perfectly? Because all I've heard is that there's been no false bans, but then you have content creators that have been, saying to their community that they are legit and they're promoted playing legit, but they have been banned, and the developer of this game that has banned them are saying the anti-cheat is working as it should. Again, very unique situation indeed, and I'm really intrigued to see how this plays out. The only thing that is sort of saving 11 if the anti-cheat wasn't working is the fact that they have the 3-day ban system. So they give these players a 3-day ban, and even if the ban is false, they have the 3 days and then they can play the game again, and hopefully it won't be flagged again, because that is data going back to 11 about RustGuard, so they can then refine the details, which I think, in my opinion anyway, I don't know for sure, that's sort of the reason as to why they give the 3-day ban. Because if you've given a warning saying the anti-cheat is active, that should be the warning for players that are cheating to get off their devices. They shouldn't be having a warning, they continue playing on those devices, they get a ban for 3 days, and then, they continue playing on those devices, right? They shouldn't have at least 2 warnings before a potential permaban, because they've had the last 3 to 4 years to know whether or not they should be playing legit or on third-party devices, which they shouldn't be. That's sort of my 2 cents on the ban wave and the anti-cheat as well. The 3-day system is sort of there to gather data for the anti-cheat. I could be wrong, it's just my opinion, but yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. So carrying on from the DLC Frontier pack that I was talking about last video, some new things have arisen for us to talk about. Specifically, we've got a new knife, we have got a sort of new weapon or DB sort of skin, which I'm going to be going into in depth, and we're getting a new hazmat skin. First off, let's talk about the weapon, the blunderbuss. So the Rust blunderbuss is a Frontiersman pack DLC skin available for the double barrel shotgun, being a reskin of the DB. It is a low range rate of fire gun in Rust with the considerable firepower. They are the ultimate grub gun, commonly used with the revolver during early wipe combat. And it looks pretty cool in game. Again, it's surprising that we've gotten all of this, and this is actually going to be a paid DLC. I feel like back in the Call of Duty days, like Black Ops 3, when you had early gameplay because you brought like the ultimate edition of this game, and we're getting DLCs early, so you have an early look of this, which will then be in stores for people to buy. As for the hazmat suit, it is called the Frontier suit. So the Rust Rust Frontier suit as a skin available for the Hazmat. And this, funnily enough, was released as part of Facepunch's general permanent store items with the Frontiersman's Pack DLC back in October 2024. Pretty much been a year since that was brought out on PC. So if you want to connect the dots on stuff coming in the future, that's your best bet. Looking back at what PC's done and seeing where it's going to integrate within console and sort of the time frame from it. Last but not least, we have the Frontier Hatchet. So the Frontier Hatchet is a skin available obviously for the hatchet, and obviously again was released part of the Frontiers pack in October 2024. I think everybody's going to love these sorts of packs. DB is probably a gun that is sort of loved and hated within the community. Loved because it's just an OG weapon that everybody uses so frequently, but for that same reason people hate it, because it is used so frequently in early wipe combat. So let's briefly talk about the new Recoil that is inevitably going to be coming to Rust Console Edition. So when we've spoken about new Recoil in the past, the devs have kind of brushed over and said, nope, we're keeping this old Recoil. I don't want to say that they've said this word for word, but I've gained the sort of understanding that they were like, the PC Recoil is never coming. I don't know if they just say it's not coming yet, but it's never coming. You know, a lot of people have said to me that the new Recoil isn't going to come because the devs don't want it to come, or they're not bringing it to the game. So Pedro Silva has sort of replied in that sense. The comment above this was basically talking of that nature. So he said a couple of things here. The new Recoil was never out of the question. What I mentioned was that this one would be maintained as much as we could. New weapons only have the new Recoil, and this adds an extra layer of complexity for the porting. Another point is that a lot of the community want the new Recoil, and just like with every feature, we are open to add what the players want. I mean, if you want a sort of confirmation that the new Recoil is going to come, they want to bring what the community wants. If a lot of the community, like more than 50%, well more than 50% want the new Recoil, you can bet your bottom dollar that the new Recoil is going to come. Whether it's quality of life update within this month or next month being October, or it's standalone update whenever that may be, new Recoil, I'm telling you right here now, will come at some point. Again, we are following PC, and I've been saying this for well over a year now. So what's next for Rust Console in October? Now for the big one. So October's content, Facepunch dropped info about the Desert Military Base and MLRS coming to Rust PC back in the day. And usually this is a good indicator of what we'll eventually see on console, as per the roadmap that they had released a couple months ago. So the Desert Base is basically a brand new monument spawning out in desert biomes. It's a full military compound with loot, NPCs and high tier fights. So it's designed to shake up PvP zones, so it's not always just launch site dominating the map. And for console, wherever this comes in, it's going to change how clans control sort of desert territories. So what we can expect is more raids, more bases popping up nearby, and constant fighting over loot. But then there's MLRS. So this is basically a rocket artillery system that lets you fire multiple rockets at once from long range. Now over on PC, it completely changes raiding because you can launch these barrages from a safe distance. It's not overpowered, you need resources to fuel it and load it, but it adds another layer to raiding strategy. If and when it comes to console, it's going to make offline raiding even scarier and could force people to rethink how they defend their base. So to sum it up, cheaters are getting banned, or I'd like to think most of them are cheaters. The extension on from the Frontier pack being the new Hazmat, DB skin being the blunderbuss, and of course the new Hatchet, as well as Desert Military Base plus MLRS are going to be coming to Rust Console on PTB within October. And that is everything I have for you guys today. So we have cheaters getting banned, or I'd like to think hopefully all of them are getting banned. We have the Desert Base up and coming. Quality of life, there's not much talk about that, but the overriding chat and conversation has been about the Frontier pack, which we now have a Hazmat confirmed, we have a new DB skin confirmed, as well as a new Hatchet confirmed, and also some talking points on the new Recoil. If there's anything else that needed to be added, leave a comment down below in the comment section. Be sure to subscribe if you like all things Rust Console, news, updates, anything in between. This channel is just for that. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and see you in the next one.